Hey, this is Russell Brunson and welcome to Webinar Funnel Secrets. Now I want to quickly show you how to use webinar funnels to run online events and to sell your products to the masses. And then at the end of this video, I'm actually going to give you my top converting webinar funnels. But before we do that, I want to explain where webinar funnels came from, how they work, and how you can use them in your specific business. So to show you initially, I want to kind of walk you through the layout of what a webinar funnel looks like. Now it's a very simple process. There's a webinar registration page where you get somebody to register for the webinar. Then there's a confirmation page where you thank them for being registered to the webinar. And with the webinar funnel, typically you're integrating with some third-party webinar software like GoToWebinar or Zoom are the two most popular within the ClickFunnels community. So then the webinar actually happens over there on the other platform. But what's nice is because you can control the registration process and the confirmation process, you're able to get higher conversions and a lot of times sell other products and services before people even come to the webinar, as I'll show you here in a minute. Now, after somebody registers for the webinar and before the webinar starts, what we do is we send them emails that take them to what we call indoctrination pages, where each of these pages gives them a video or some kind of training to get them more excited about what's going to be happening on the web class. And we'll have anywhere from 1 to 3 confirmation pages typically in a normal webinar funnel. And then after the webinar is over, then we usually set up a webinar replay page where we post the webinar replay and then we send emails to the people who register for the webinar to go watch the replay before we take it down. And so that's kind of what a basic webinar funnel looks like. Now, if we were to take this and plug in some actual pages, this is kind of what it would look like. First page, they register, then the confirmation page. Here's the indoctrination pages where we send them videos, getting them excited about what's happening, and then the replay page happens at the end. Okay, so the first question I want to answer is, where do webinars actually come from? A lot of people have never even heard that word before they get into ClickFunnels. And so a webinar is basically like a web class. It's like a seminar that's happening on the internet. Now in the past, the way that I used to sell a lot of products and services is I would go to live events like this. I'd stand in front of 1,000 or 10,000 people and I would teach them something, and then at the end I would sell my products or my services. And that's how I made my living for almost a decade. But then fast forward to technology started catching up, making things easier. And now I do most of my business, I do it through webinars where I'm actually at my home or sitting here in my office and there might be 1,000, 2,000, 5,000 people registered who are watching from all around the world. I do my same webinar presentation, I teach, I train them, and at the end of it, then I can sell them a product or a service. And so that's kind of what a webinar is a live event, but it's happening on the internet. And what's cool about it is that you can do these and make as much money as you would normally from the comfort of your home, as opposed to having to travel and get hotels and all sorts of other things that go into a traditional live event. Okay. Now, some examples of some webinar funnels. These are just some layouts of some of the ones we've done in the past. This is one where Kaylin, the lady boss, talked about ClickFunnels. This is another one of our webinar registration pages, and here's another one selling. These are all selling software or trainings or other things. Webinars have been used to sell pretty much everything on planet Earth, from supplements to training courses to consulting to coaching. Webinars work good to sell almost any type of product you can think of. So here is how it works. Okay, the first page, the first step here is to get them to register for the web class. Okay, so that's what the first page in the funnel does. Then the second page, after they've registered for the web class, then you thank them for registering. Sometimes you may make them a special offer, and I'll talk about that here in a minute. But basically, you're thanking them, and then the last page here inside this funnel is where you post the actual replay. So that's kind of how a webinar funnel works. It's very simple and very easy. Okay, so again, here is the layout, and then there's one more piece here I didn't talk about, the indoctrination pages. So indoctrination pages, these are pages we create that usually for me, they have videos where I'm getting people excited about what's happening in the training, and I'm indoctrinating, getting them excited. Some people call these persuasion pages, where you're getting them excited before they actually show up to the web class. And so this is an example of what an indoctrination page may look like. Now, a lot of people do webinars without these. It just helps to kind of increase show up rate and actually increases people buying something at the end of the webinar because they've been indoctrinated through you, from you through these videos here in the sequence. Okay. So what other products and services work for webinar funnels? Like I said, all sorts of things. You can use it to sell courses, to sell products, to sell software. I've seen people use it to sell supplements, high-end coaching, business practices, services, like pretty much everything you can dream of, you can be sold on an actual webinar. Okay, so here's some of the best practices on how a webinar funnel works. So the first page here, some of the core, most important things. First step, I like to call out who is this webinar actually for? So you notice in this one it says, attention, entrepreneurs, small business owners, online marketers, marketing agencies. So they know this is who it's for. The second step is like having a curiosity-based headline. The more curiosity you have, the more likely someone is to register and more likely they are to actually show up. In fact, when I have a webinar page that's not converting very well, the biggest thing I do is I come back and try to increase the curiosity to get people excited. Okay, so curiosity is the key on a registration page. Now, the second page is where we thank them. Now, on the thank you page, we're not using curiosity nearly as much as a couple other things. First thing is we're thanking them for registering. The second thing is, whereas the first page is all curiosity, the thank you page is all about excitement, getting them excited for what they're about to experience. Okay, if you get them excited here, they're more likely to make sure they show up, to put it on their calendar, to make sure they don't sleep in or forget about it. The more excited you get them here, the more likely they are to show up and participate in the event that you're putting on. And then the last thing, and this isn't necessary, but a lot of times what I do on this page is I give them, I make them an offer. We call this a self-liquidating offer. This is where we tell them like, hey, in this example here, I say, go get a free trial of ClickFunnels. Sometimes I might sell a book, or I push them into one of my other funnels where I'm selling a lower ticket product. Now, a lot of times this self-liquidating offer here will actually cover the entire cost, my advertising costs to get people to register for the web class. Now, it's kind of a more advanced thing, and it's not necessary, but I want to kind of put it out there for those of you guys who may want to do something like that on your thank you pages. Now the next page, obviously at this point, like we said before, is that webinar now is going to happen in some third-party service like GoToWebinar or Zoom. And then after you get the recording of that presentation back, then you create a replay page, and usually we'll post that replay page up for 24 to 48 hours. We'll send emails to everybody who registered and told them, now go watch this video before it disappears, and that gets people to actually go and watch and consume your presentation. Okay, now in the past, if you want to create a webinar funnel like that, it was complicated, right? You had to get designers and then webmasters and programmers and analytics people and a whole bunch more. But the good news is that now, because you're here today here on ClickFunnels, you no longer have to do that. We have a better way, a faster way. So instead of doing all that, what you can do is you can just use our share funnels. In fact, we've had some of the top designers in our community design these amazing webinars funnels for you. If you look down below this video, you'll notice there's a whole bunch of pre-done webinar funnels that are already created for you. And we call these share funnels because we're going to share them with you. So all you do is look down below, find out which one of these webinar funnels you like that looks the most like what you would want. Click on the select the funnel button, and then one of two things are going to happen. First off, if you already have a ClickFunnels account, it's going to take that entire webinar funnel and it'll plug it into your account. Now, if you don't have a ClickFunnels account yet, what it'll do instead, it'll take you to the share funnel page right here where you can create a free trial account. After you create a free account, then it's going to plug that funnel into your ClickFunnels account, and then you can edit it and design it, customize it for yourself. Okay, so that's the first step. So step number one is pick one of your favorite templates from down below. There's a ton of them that are amazing, and I'm going to show you here in a second how simple they are to customize. So pick the one that looks the closest to what you like, and then you can actually customize it. In fact, that's step number two now, is to customize your template. So I'm going to log into ClickFunnels real quick right now and show you how easy it is to actually customize any of these webinar pages. All right, now I'm on the exact same page you're on. So I come right here, I can scroll around, I can look at all the different templates, so I find the one that I like the best. So I'm going to click this right now. I click on select this funnel button. Now it's going to take that entire funnel, it's going to copy it over to my ClickFunnels account, build all the pages and have them all set up there so I can start working on it immediately. Then I click right here on the view funnel button. And that fast, you guys, this funnel is ready for me to start building. On the left-hand side here, you'll see here's all the different pages we talked about earlier. And so I can go through and edit all these pages and make it match my branding. But for right now, I'm going to edit just one to show you how simple and easy it is. I click on Edit Page. This can take me inside the ClickFunnels editor. And this is where the fun begins. I click right here, I pick a word, I can start typing things, editing that fast. Hey, how are you doing? I can go right here and let's say I don't like this image. I can click on the settings. I can change the image for one of my own. I can upload it really quickly or just grab one from here and boom, that fast the page is changed. If I don't like something, I can grab something, I can move it around, I can drag and drop things really easily. If I want to change the colors, I can. But this is how easy ClickFunnels is, you guys. You don't have to be technical. If you can drag and drop, you can build a funnel here inside of ClickFunnels. That's how simple and how easy it is. When I'm done with that, I click on the save button. And then I can preview it, and that fast, my funnel is live. Do you see how simple and how easy this really is? Now, if for some reason I don't like something, I can come back in here, and same thing, I can come back, I can drag things around, I can move them around to my heart's content until the funnel looks exactly the way I want it to, and when I'm done, I click exit, and I'm done. Okay, so that's step number 2, how to customize it. Now, one thing you'll notice is that each of these pages right here, all three of these 3 pages I'm showing you, this is all based on the same template. All I did is I changed the image, I changed the headline, I changed the color, and that quick, I can make each of these look and match the look and the feel of whatever your brand is, okay? So the better you get at ClickFunnels, the easier it is to customize these things and really make them amazing, okay? And then the third step is you go out there and you actually launch your webinar funnel, which is the most exciting thing. Now, before we go on, I actually want to show you a really quick video from my friend right here. This is Garrett J. White. He's one of our ClickFunnels members, and I want you to hear in his own words why he stopped using all the other solutions and has focused everything inside his company here on this one tool that we call ClickFunnels.
Hello, my name is Garrett J. White, the Master Coach Mentor and founder of Wake Up Warrior Academy. And I will tell you this right now. We have tested with platforms. We have tested everything. I have attempted for the past 6 years to use every available software tool I could find that made it simpler for me to share my message. And it started with WordPress, and then it went plugins, and then optimized press, and then we went to Kajabi, and then we went to lead pages. And these are all wonderful. Know the owners of these guys are fantastic. The software tools were amazing. When ClickFunnels came out, I was like, dude, I cannot handle another software tool. I don't give a shit. We're just gonna manage our stuff between lead pages and Kajabi. And then my friend said, just test it, just try it out. And I went to ClickFunnels, and no bullshit. Like, every software increment over the last 5 years has been not a quantum shift in what you can do with the tool to get your message out to the marketplace. They've been incremental. So like, there's been a move from Kajabi to lead pages, or from optimized press to Kajabi, and they were these segmented steps that had slight improvements that made it easier. ClickFunnels, though, came out of nowhere. They took the marketplace by storm, just like Apple did when they first launched the iPhone. It was not a linear move anymore. It was a quantum move in improvement that'll open up a gap to allow people just like you watching this, people just like you and me, who are not technically savvy. We weren't born in the matrix, and we didn't have a chip implanted in our heads. We're not engineers or computer science majors, and we don't understand that stuff inherently. ClickFunnels gave you, my friend, an opportunity to cut and decrease the time of stress and anxiety and suffering behind a keyboard. Trust me, the days you want to just pound vodka and throw your Mac out the window because you can't figure shit out, ClickFunnels has brought it to a place that it is a quantum leap, an opportunity which allows you, just like the iPhone, to not only look smarter, but to feel smarter, and ultimately to only deal with the stuff that matters, which is getting your message about your product and your program and service out to the marketplace.
How many of you guys think that ClickFunnels is the most amazing customer support on planet Earth?
If you're spending all the time in suicide watch and having to check yourself into a hospital, and honestly trying to deal with everything else that's come out before it. So I not only fully endorse ClickFunnels, it's the only software tool that we use when it comes to our funnels online across all 4 of my businesses. We're not going anywhere else. Love Russell, love this event. This event married up to that software tool. You are a dumbass if you don't come, and that's okay. There's plenty of dumbasses on the planet. Just don't let it be you.
All right, now once again, if you already have a ClickFunnels account, all you gotta do is look down below, find out which one of these webinar funnels looks the coolest to you, pick the template, then customize it, and then go out there and launch it. Now, if you don't have a ClickFunnels account yet, do not worry, the steps still the same. Find out which one of these funnels looks the best, the most exciting, select that funnel. It'll take you to the share funnel page where you can go get your free 14-day trial, and then it'll copy that funnel into your ClickFunnels account. You can have the next 14 days to edit it, add your logo, change your text, try it, do a webinar, try the whole thing out, have some fun with it, and then and you can do that all during your free trial. So click down below right now, pick out which webinar funnel you want, sign up for the free trial, and I hope that you love ClickFunnels, and I cannot wait to see your very first webinar event go live. I hope this changes your business and changes your life. Thanks again so much for using ClickFunnels, and now you just got to pick which funnel template you want to use down below.